In today's society, it seems that using alcohol and drugs and food has become quite normal as a way of coping with stress.
We are the Happy Heathers. Today we're going to talk about this, especially using alcohol, whatever about drugs or even food. But in Ireland, where we are, but it's true of most countries throughout the world, people like to drink, not just for social reasons to be happy, but as a coping mechanism to get away from their lives.
Yeah, I mean, over here, the first thing somebody tells you to do if you've broken up in a come on, we'll go for a drink.
Yeah,
you know.
And they don't mean tea.
Yeah, you know, any problems in your life, there's a funeral, we'll have a drink. If there's a wedding, we'll have a drink.
Child born.
Yeah, we'll wet the baby's head.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of crack over here. So it's a big drink culture. Now, I do think it has changed a lot. For instance, we don't drink. So, I mean, that's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
You'd imagine we would drink.
Especially Paul, you know. I just used to follow around the place. Yeah. No, but I've deliberately made a choice not to drink for this time, and it could be open-ended. No, but anyway, I'm choosing that. But many people feel locked into this. It's their go-to thing when they come under pressure. I need to get drunk. I need to get out of my head and get away from things.
Yes, to escape reality, or to, you know, it's like a coping mechanism then, really, isn't it?
You see, with drugs, it's more clear-cut, isn't it? Like people will take drugs, cocaine, and it's very obvious that this why they're doing it is they want to get high, they want to get away from what they've been feeling. Yeah,
I love like the research around psychedelics at the moment as well, and mycelium and everything, and how it can be used to treat depression. I think it's an interesting thing to read up about, actually.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the legalization of weed or cannabis, you know, like looking into that as well for the country, and how well it has rolled out, I suppose, decriminalising it in the likes of Portugal and that. But there is like a minority, I suppose, of people who will abuse drugs, and then it doesn't turn out very good. And of course, young people taking drugs is never a good idea.
Yeah.
But I think that we've lost the use of them, and we've fallen into abuse. And it's the same with food.
It's exactly the same with food.
Yeah.
You said, like, people have been abusing food. People look at you and go, what do you mean? But I help people, you help people who may be eating
you especially with weight
not
loss.
so much eating disorders, but a lot of weight. And I would say to them, like, the food doesn't accidentally get into your body. Nobody breaks into your home, fills it full of goodies and sweet stuff, packs the cabinets, and then at night takes them out and starts shoving them into your mouth. Yeah. You do that.
Yes.
So why are you doing that? Is it because you like the taste of the food that they shove in? Yeah, maybe. But it's also because you're trying to change your mood.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, it doesn't have to be from something horrendously bad, but you want to feel better, and eating food creates serotonin in the gut. Instantly.
Instant gratification, isn't it?
Yeah. But serotonin, like people say, that's the feel-good hormone. 95% of it's created in your belly. Instantly, you eat something, so you get a hit, you get a fix, and it works. And the thing is, it does work.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes later, you have to repeat the process because it's kind of come down, and it's like drinking coffee. It's like highs and lows of coffee. And then you get into this regime, this habit. And what happens is your subconscious mind writes a program, like an app, and it reminds you to do this every evening at such and such a time when you sit down to watch something.
Yes.
And then you get into this thing, and it's the same with alcohol. People sometimes will go, weekend is alcohol.
Yes.
And you kind of go, well, it's Tuesday night, do you want to go? No, I never drink during the week.
Yeah, it's a bottle of wine or whatever, 2 bottles of wine, whatever. Yeah. It's so easy for the tolerance to, you know, decrease, I suppose, and or for the tolerance to increase, you know, of how much you're able to handle this stuff. And I think sugar addiction is equally as bad as alcohol addiction in many ways, because, you know, you get that craving. I certainly have gotten that craving as well. Yeah. Trying to give up eating chocolate, for example. I would rather give up drink than chocolate any day. I would actually find it a lot easier to give up drink than chocolate.
I'll talk to you afterwards about the chocolate.
He's going to hypnotise me now, get me away from it. Actually, Paul did a hypnosis with me one time around cake, and since that, I have not bought a cake.
Really?
Yeah, or in your thing you were like, oh, it's melting and it's all the oils and the greases are coming over, and I was like, oh, gross, dude.
See, you change your association, and isn't that is that the key of all of this? Is the association. When you were in a particular headspace and you are looking to get out of it, your mind will associate what did you do previously, and it will activate this habit, whatever that habit is. And you see, the thing is that these habits that you have, they do work, but they're not the best ones, and usually they're habits that a younger version of you has found. Maybe, you know, when you teenage years, you went out in the world into college, you started to learn to drink to feel good, and this is what everybody did, and it's why it's so acceptable. It's not questioned a whole lot. Yeah,
because you wanted to have fun all the time, and you think, you know, well, going out drinking is associated with having a fun time, and then that's the story you tell yourself.
Yeah,
that's what you get caught in, you know.
Yeah, really I used to give people this example when I was helping people give up smoking. I was saying, and the person sitting in front of me could not disagree, but smoking is self-harming. It's damaging your body. It's self-harming.
Slow suicide.
If you were in the toilet of a pub or a nightclub, and there was somebody inside a cubicle and she was cutting her wrists with a razor blade, would you kick in that door and help her and save her? You would. But if somebody was in a cubicle smoking a cigarette, would you kick in the door and save them? No, because it's acceptable. Yeah. Both of them are self-harm. It is slow suicide.
Yeah, absolutely. One is a bit quicker though.
Yeah.
Depending, I suppose, on the person. But I know loads of people now. I remember the doctor saying to me years ago, I used to be a smoker, and he said that if you don't stop smoking, you're going to have emphysema by the time you're 30.
Wow.
And that actually scared the living shit out of me. It really did. And then I gave up smoking. But the worst part of giving up smoking was I replaced it with eating.
Yeah.
I started eating a copious amount.
It's putting
food.
Something into your mouth that changes your state of mind.
Yeah. And then I put on loads of weight and hated myself then for that for years, until I, you know, finally plucked up the courage to go to Weight Watchers or something and get rid of it. So it's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't this the thing? Like, you found an alternative way to manage yourself, to deal with your stuff. And there's always an alternative, but you won't notice it until you go looking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you'll see that it's there, because there's lots of people who don't use alcohol, drugs or food to manage themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm one of those at the moment.
Yeah, and you're not like addicted to anything else.
And I'm not off the wall mad.
Like, some people go mad into exercise and all of that. Yeah, I can hold a conversation with them now.
I'm coherent most of the time.
Yeah, sometimes I have to bait it into them, you know.
So the thing is that there are alternatives. There are. So if you recognise that you have a problem, and you know you have a problem if you try to stop the alcohol, the drugs or the food, if you try to stop binging on stuff and you can't, then you realise that you're hooked, you're in and you have a problem, but you can escape that problem. So like us, comment down below, share us, subscribe to us.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to reach out to people for help as well. There's some great free organisations out there as well, Bodywise. It's amazing for that kind of thing, and there's loads of information there. The Mayo Clinic as well is great for information, you know, about addiction and dependencies and how to get, you know, back on track again. I think the scariest thing, Paul, is deciding that you're going to change, and then once you have that decision made, the rest,
it's very empowering.
It's easy. Yeah,
very empowering.
Great, very empowering.
We are the Happy Headers. Talk to you soon.